Hello, this is Stalnaker with Hub Culture, and we're at the World Climate Summit in South Africa. Right now, I'm with Epiphanea Maunzagona, who is with an organization in Malawi called Siriti, and we're going to talk about what's happening in Malawi in relation to climate change and your opinion about what's going on here in South Africa. So welcome, thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much, Stan.
Yeah.
I'm humbled to be here with you.
We're very glad that you are. Tell us about your perspective. I want to hear about what you do and your organization, and then maybe a little bit about what's happening in Malawi with regard to these issues, not just climate change, but what's the update?
Okay, I'm very glad that you asked, and like you say, the first focal point is the climate and the people, and obviously the latest update. I would try and put it in that manner. I'm from Serti. Like I said, Serti is a Sotho name meaning dignity. And the goal and the vision of Serti is to actually restore dignity to Africa. You know, like bring back the emancipation of economic wealth and also bring back the pride of being African. And I believe that Africanism is about your pride. It's an attitude that says, I am African, I'm proud to be one, I'm not apologetic about it, and I do everything for the value of Africa. That being said, Seriti is very passionate about the climate, because we know that the best way to go is actually green, and sustainability is key. It's like the priority, because we can't have anything feasible unless it's sustainable. And we can't have plans because basically we understand that for the past decades or so, projects have been put in place and plans.
Sustainable projects.
Yeah, sustainable, you know, but all the while they have always forgotten the grassroots people. And by so doing, the projects fail. Because despite having the mechanism, despite having the funds and everything, if you forget the grassroots people, you are likely not to actually do well.
Is it because there's a lack of understanding of what people need or what people want, or is it just people
I think it's the excitement,
take an aid approach,
really.
And they think they're helping, but it's not? Or?
No, I think it's the excitement. When organizations come through, they are excited to help. However, their perception of what works is not always true. Because understand that a system that can work in Poland will not necessarily work in Denmark. It might not necessarily work in Germany. It might not. It's the same thing with Africa. And what will work in the southern region might not actually work in the northern region, or better, what will work in the southern region and what will work in the southern eastern region might not actually be the same.
Yeah.
So it is always good to understand the people first, their needs, and work from there. That way, if they're involved, if you give them ownership of whatever project that you're doing, they have that sense of pride, because the idea is to emancipate them. So Seriti has discovered a way, right, of actually having that approach that says that the grassroots people should be involved, and like taking a look at the poor, not as a burden, but as entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you looking at funding projects, microfinance projects and things like this for the people who are in this kind of community, or what is the organization doing?
Okay, we have set up a place actually in Kasungu.
And this is in Malawi?
That's in Malawi. That's like going to be the first pilot project.
Okay.
Forgive me for being biased. I'm from Malawi, so definitely I'll be biased from Malawi. First and foremost, in Africa, obviously. The idea is to actually build a hotel. We have identified companies from Germany, from South Africa, and other independent investors that would actually be able to build the first 5-star green hotel in Malawi,
okay,
somewhere close to the water, because the idea is to actually incorporate...
Next to the lake.
Exactly, next to the lake. Yeah, so that we can also have...
Because Lake Malawi is almost the biggest lake in Africa?
Well, the thing is, it's quite big because it covers from the north right up to the south.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, it is beautiful. You should come there sometime.
I should.
Yeah, you know, and the other thing is that it actually shows the unison of Africa, because at some point it meets the whole Nile. Right up from the DRC, it meets up with with Mozambique. It meets up with there's like a convergence where they.
So it's like the heart of Africa.
Exactly. That's why we are the whole heart of Africa. So the reason we are actually putting it somewhere close by there, that is the hotel in Perception, is to make sure that we incorporate tourism as well, like the fisheries, have crafts work doing there, canoeing, and also the coffee plantations. Because understand that if it is going to be a green hotel, it has to also be able to feed itself. And the one way of doing so is to make sure that there is biomass for it that is coming from the maize.
So this is a totally green hotel, completely closed loop, zero or negative carbon impact.
Definitely green and also interdependent on
the local community.
Definitely, because the crafts work, the coffee plantations, the tea plantations, the sugar plantations, everything that is going to be, the energy that is going to be sustaining the hotel has to be coming from all the others. So it's basically getting the locals very much involved in the because the idea is to not just have a project that will benefit others for the next 50 years, and whereas you would have just gotten in like the people to just work towards the building, and after that, you know, that will never emancipate them, and that will also never actually put them above the poverty data line.
Okay.
So sustainability would not be feasible there.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'd like to just ask you about your view about the big picture with regard to Malawi, and how these kinds of projects can help to shift the perception, not just of international views into Malawi, but also the people of Malawi being empowered to make these changes themselves. Do you think that these sorts of projects can be replicated, or is this kind of a one-off idea? How do we scale this kind of idea? Okay,
you should understand that Malawi for the past donkey years, since whenever, has been a country that has got no major resources. You know, we do not have minerals, except for a few coal deposits here and there. And the truth be told, 85% of our GDP is on international funds, which unfortunately right now have been slashed because of the issues in question and etc. So the idea is to make sure that people actually embrace the idea of emancipation, not through funding, which has always been our major source, but also to actually be empowered by means of having the climate, because that's our major resource.
As the major asset.
As the major asset, yeah, as the major resource, and obviously the human capital. If we understand that these two incorporated together can actually become the economic hub of Malawi.
Right.
Yeah, that's why most English people actually retire in Malawi, because of the climate. So why not actually benefit from that? So tourism, the water, the beauty of Malawi, its climate, and the people. That will bring something. So it's not just going to be a one-off project. Obviously, the reason we're starting off in Kasungu is because the land is accessible, number one, and number two, also because I'm quite familiar with the people there. It's my area of birth.
So you can do it.
So I can do it, but it's a project that can also be shifted. We plan on going to Dumza because there is tea plantations already existing, you know, refurbishing them and everything. There is even Blantyre. There is a whole lot of places, and the idea is to just look at Malawi as the starting point. You see, because Serti is not Serti Malawi. Serti is Serti Africa. It's dignity being restored not only to Malawi, but to the rest of Africa. Cool. And like I said, we're starting in Malawi simply because I'm most comfortable
it's close.
Right. It's not like starting from zero, but it's starting from like the grassroots.
You know, the journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
Yes, so. And baby steps in the right direction.
Very good. Okay, thank you so much. So that's the update from Malawi and these exciting projects to look at restoring dignity. I'm Stalnaker with Hub Culture, and we're here in Durban, South Africa at the World Climate Summit.